Good evening, Beacons. Welcome back to another league stream. Joining in the booth with me once here today is,
Henry Speedy Kill Ninja.
and with that being said, we're going to get a quick look into our starting roster for tonight.
Yeah, so League of Legends roster here. This is kind of our core starting lineup here. We got Dreadful in the top lane, Super Bear in the jungle, Diadem in the Law, rounding out the support, and our fearless leader, Jakimbo, in the mid lane. But without further ado, gonna get headed into the draft here. We have Valpo on, I'm gonna assume blue side. Yeah, blue side. Get that Ziggs B1. It's been super successful for our team this year, prioritizing those void grubs as well as turret plays, just kind of building that gold advantage. Yeah, thoughts on the bands, Adam?
Bethel seen pretty consistent bans for some of the top picks from Valpo, the Zaxaurora and the Syndra, all obviously being strong champions by
Yep.
Super Bear, Dreadful, and Jakimbo specifically. Valpo, we do see the ban on the Skarner, Poppy, and Silas. Overall, good bans, all three of them in really good positions right now in the meta. And specifically, Poppy's just ability to cancel engages was really detrimental. What we saw yesterday against University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Silas has the ability to pick up any ultimate in the game, especially a good Ziggs ult could be really dangerous. And then obviously Skarno, which is the ability to not die.
Yep. So looking at these two picks from Bethel, there are one with Vigar. They have a clear strategy right away. They're going to try and turtle, scale for late game, and they're going to say, hey, if this game goes 30 minutes, it doesn't matter what the cold lead is. Like, we're playing Vigar. Yon, obviously a very strong pick, seen a ton of presence at Worlds, and just a great pick. And that is likely going to be in the top lane with the Vigar in mid. Also could be actually a Vigar bot, is something I'm just starting to realize. I wouldn't hate it going bot lane either. Have a little extra support, also some ability to match the Ziggs. I'm gonna get the J4 Super Bear on the Jarvan 4 is super strong, has a lot of prio, has been very successful in that mid jungle duo. And yeah,
As I say, yeah, especially if we do see the Vagar in the mid wave, that does mean that we're going to see Jakimbo and Super Bear going pretty heavily, trying to make sure that Vagar is not really able to start their stacking for a long time. But we are
yeah,
going to see the Ari come, which is if it's a Vagar mid, Ari's dashes are going to be able to get around the cage pretty easily.
yeah. So the more I think about these Bethel picks, the more I feel like they actually could be flexed. So first glance, I'm thinking Yon top, Vigar mid, but could also be Vigar bot, Yon mid. But Ari, great pick for Jakimbo. Does well into either of them. And just a good roaming mid laner. AP has a lot of self reliance, self peel, self sufficient. That's the word, self sufficient. Mid laner there has the ult for the mobility. And the Sejuani we saw hovered earlier going to be locked in for the side of Bethel. And I think as far as Valpo's side's concerned, this is going kind of exactly how we want it to, exactly how we planned. So I'm feeling very comfortable. As far as Bethel, is this something we were kind of expecting? Not sure how much you were listening on the kind of draft analysis, what we were expecting going into this. But is this kind of a surprise for us, a shock, or something we're kind of ready for?
I think that the Valpo is definitely ready for it. I was gonna say I don't think that the Vigar was talked about too much in the pre-draft. I know that obviously this seeing the OPs, seeing that Silas just definitely had a lot of time on the field. But specifically with that Sejuani, I'm pretty sure that if that's a Yone Sejuani top, that is going to lock Dreadful down pretty well, just because any melee abilities are going to be able to stack Sejuani's ice. And so her point and click hard CC, if she's able to get a decent engage off, will just mean that if that Yone is top lane, that Dreadful will have to be slightly more careful. With that being said, taking a look at the kind of final pick and bans, we see that top lane is the name of the game for both teams, with Camille and Jax being banned by Bethel, and Valpo rounding the rear out with a Mundo ban and an Alistar ban.
Yeah, so that's a crazy pick. Seeing the Pike, I gotta expect Vigar is not going to be playing ADC, but they wouldn't last pick ADC, so that's really weird. Pike Vigar, not a matchup I was expecting to see. So if we do see that duo in the bot lane, gonna expect Pike to be roaming a lot, having impact on the map. Very highly mobile support, and we will see it answered with the Blitzcrank from the Law.
I was gonna say if the Pike Vigar is gonna be extremely vulnerable to a Blitz hook. Blitz is able to grab any one of them. Even actually, Blitzcrank is an amazing pick, even if the game goes like 40 minutes, because if Vagar gets picked out, doesn't matter if it's 40 minutes. Doesn't matter how much damage he can do if he's hard CC'd for the entire time that he is being attacked. So good pick by the Law here. Excuse us 1 second. As we have a slight technical difficulty, but as we figure out who the final pick will be for Valpo, we will see that will be Dreadful on the Gnar pick. We've seen Dreadful's Gnar go kind of crazy in a few games, especially earlier in the season. We saw that Dreadful specifically had a really good triple kill opportunity in the top lane, and we are going to see the Warwick.
Yeah, Warwick actually does really good in Gnar, even though it is kind of a range versus melee matchup. Definitely going to want to build anti-heal this game. That's going to be super important. But Warwick's a very unique top laner. Kind of a matchup check if you're not ready for it.
So that means we're going to see. That means it's an ADC Vagar. Because
Yeah.
if
Yep.
Warwick top, Yone mid, Vagar bot.
Yep. Unless if Sejuani is top, Warwick jungle.
Is that normal for Sejuani to go top lane?
He can. It's not like out of the normal, but no, in this situation it'd be kind of weird.
Okay. I was gonna say, as I've been learning top lane, haven't seen a lot of Sejuani.
My prediction, top to bot, is Warwick, Sejuani, Yone, Vigar, Pike. Although the Vigar Pike just doesn't make sense in my brain. So, I mean, that's not even dissonant. It's just like those champions like don't really
Synergize.
Yeah, synergize well.
But I guess Yone Pike wouldn't really synergize. Synergize is worse, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Bethel clearly has a plan. They're trying to kind of throw off Valpo here. And I don't hate it. So they're kind of going swinging for the fences here. And speaking of that, we are in our last week of the regular season for the Great Lakes Esports Conference. So heading into this game, Valpo's record is 5-2, and Bethel's record is 3-4. So definitely a team that we are kind of expected to be, favored to be, but at the same time, definitely not a bad team either. Have picked up 3 wins along the way, just below 500. And kind of looking towards seeding for our playoffs 2 weeks from Friday. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us here in Draft, and we'll catch you guys after a quick spectator delay, and we'll see you guys in a minute. and welcome back to the final week of the regular season. Tonight we got whoa, a lot of action here. Gonna stop me, but we got both teams 5-second towards top lane. They're not gonna see Valpo here. The Law gonna walk into this one, gonna get chunked low. Still has hook available here. Blitzcrank will drop low. Warwick gonna die though. Luckily that he dies before he gets all that lifesteal. We're gonna have Ari and Nar pick up a kill, and it's gonna be 2 for 2 so far. Yon goes down. Valpo with a 3-2 advantage, and wow, Nar with double kill already. Pike goes down as well, and we have Jakimbo and Dreadful both 2-0 and 2, and that is going to be a 600 gold lead for Valpo to start off the game.
They definitely,
wow.
Valpo definitely decided to make this both teams decided to make this very interesting.
That's what I like to see. Very exciting start to the game. Luckily, as I was like getting into it, I was like, whoa, wait.
We have all 5 of both sides going top.
But last week of the regular season, Valpo heading into this one 5-2, and Bethel with the record of 3-4. This is going to determine seeding for Valpo, as both teams are locked in for playoffs in South Bend in 2 weeks from Friday. So really excited for that. Valpo just looking for a clean 2-0 series, while Bethel is looking to mess up, put some rumblings in the seeding before week 1 or before playoffs start. But a great hook by the Law, gonna chunk out Pike early in this laning phase.
Allows Pike to burn his Oracle, but we also are gonna see as Dreadful as Warwick is gonna go in against Dreadful. Dreadful does have the extra item and boots advantage, and even though Warwick has an amazing amount of lifesteal, the minion damage is gonna catch up to him pretty quickly. Dreadful has to be careful with the level 2 lead. But with that being said, looking at the items that both sides bought, we are going to see that Dreadful is going to pick up an extra longsword and boots, and we're going to see Jakimbo with a extra dark seal and boots. And we're going to see the Law hitting another hook.
So far, 3 for 3. One thing Dreadful's got to be... Oh, we do see a gank coming mid here. We see Super Bear on J4, going to look for the E-flag flash, and he does not find it, but flash is burned from Yon. See Meganar come out here. Got to be very careful against the Warwick lifesteal. Don't want to be deceptive with that 202 scoreline. Warwick is still one of the strongest early game champs, so even if Dreadful looks like he's in a good spot, he's got to be very careful and not be over ambitious in that matchup.
But I was gonna say, with that being said, we're just gonna Dreadful is gonna play cautiously against the Warwick, and again, if Dreadful is able just to stay consistent, that's all the Dreadful needs right now, because again, he's up so much in gold, and as soon as he gets another good opportunity, he can go in for the all-out dive. We're going to see that the Pike is going to hook the Law, but no follow-up is able to be done by the Vigar. Something to point out, though, is because of that extended fight, or that fight in the top lane, Vigar was actually able to get 15 Phenomenal Evil stacks.
Oh.
Just because of the takedowns, and then I believe that he started W.
Yeah, nice jump there by Nar to get out. Also,
we do see the Sejuani coming in for a potential gank onto Dreadful. Log does get found. With that. We are going to see the flash from the Sejuani, and Dreadful is going to have to flash in order to get out of that. Damage being done, but Nar is still not strong enough to be able to do a 1v2.
You got to keep an eye on those summoner spells as well. All these ganks happen early. A lot of flashes down. Warwick also with Ghost has it down as well. We'll trade here in the bot lane.
But we are going to see J4 come in, trying to zone out the Pike. Pike does not have flash available. We're going to see the Ignite come out from the Law. Pike is trying to get out, but the Ignite is going to be able to show wherever he's pathing right now.
Yep, just waiting on his E ability here. Gonna hook, and he's looking to... Oh, but Ari's going to be there.
Good communication from Valpo, being able to ensure that they're able to continue to funnel that gold where you need to. We're doing a lot of damage here. Dreadful needing to be careful, but he does have the he does have the range poke right now, and he is going to be able to find the pick onto Warwick, continuing to strengthen that lead up to 302. And with that being said, both Ari and Dreadful are going to start getting bounties of around 180 gold so far, if I had to guess.
Yep. Luckily, Warwick not going to be too far behind, able to use that TP. But Nar, that interaction when Warwick Qs through you and able to E double bounce over, great interaction for Nar in that matchup. Looking at the gold lead, we got 400 to top lane for the side of Valpo, 100 to jungle, 600 to mid, about 100 to bot, and support. We got about a 60 gold lead, 60 flat.
If you're a fan of Valpo, definitely love to see that. We are gonna see though with the Blitzcrank beating mid lane. Looks like that they are going to be potentially preparing for a for grubs, but with Pike not being shown on vision and DNM being extremely low on mana, he's gonna have to be careful for a potential dive here, as there are 3 people from Bethel ready to pounce
Yep.
on DNM.
Looks like the Law was looking to go back there. He's kind of hovering there. Valpo going to be in a good spot for the Void Grubs, but unfortunately... Oh, but Diadem's able to get out, and that's going to be big. Does also have TP up.
Sejuani just barely survives it on the corner left of the health bar. She has about like 50 health left.
Yeah.
Absolutely dreadful to see.
Has 70 now with 3 Jennings, so that probably means, yeah, definitely below 50.
one more auto attack, or even the Ziggs W would have been enough. DNM is gonna TP back to lane and is gonna get chunked out pretty significantly by Pike and Veigar, getting pretty low. And again, he does have to be careful. We are gonna see though that Warwick is gonna attempt to go into Dreadful here. Is gonna land his ultimate. Dreadful does not have his ult in order to counter. Warwick's Ghost trying to find, and Dreadful is gonna be barely just able to get out, but we are gonna see that Super is gonna come in and try to look to clean up that kill.
Yeah, that level advantage for Warwick was huge. You see how big this wave is going to be. And Gnar is going to TP back, likely. But J4 getting crushed by those minions, super OP. And Warwick is going to be able to trade a kill here. We'll see if Gnar decides to steal, and he doesn't. Wow. Surprised from Dreadful that he didn't throw in that one auto there. But Valpo with about a 1.5k gold lead here, up 4 kills. Do have those 3 Void Grubs, only objective taken so far. Do have that Infernal Drag up, but Jacimbo finding the kill here on Sejuani, masterfully played. And keep in mind, he's had that Dark Seal too. So 2 of those kills, the one kind of spoon-fed from the team for Pike, where they gave that kill over, and going to look for outplay on Yone and finds it. And Jacimbo already at 5-0-2, 7 minutes into this one, going to have a massive gold advantage. And yeah, he's up over 1,500. So
I was gonna say, amazing play by Jacimbo there, being able to perfectly space out that his E to make sure that Sejuani took 2 tower hits. Sejuani definitely not expecting to get hit by that tower twice. We are going to see that Pike is going to continue to try to find a good angle, but the lot is setting up vision pretty well, and we didn't even mention it earlier because of how much other things were going on. But we do see that Super Bear was able to pick up the first 3 Void Grubs, and with Dragon being available, it does look like we could be having to fight at Dragon as well, which could be a potential double early objective gain for Valpo. Warwick trying to find the kill. And Dreadful and Warwick are kind of skirmishing now. Warwick using his ultimate, Dreadful just having his. And it does look like Warwick is maybe not going to fall because of all the life steal. We're going to hit the stun. We're going to hit the stun, and Dreadful just is going to have to back away just because he doesn't have the final kill potential quite yet.
Yeah, would like to see him pick up some anti-heal on this back. We'll see if it makes it happen. Another thing of note is Jacimbo was able to pick up Malignance before 8 minutes, which is huge. And Warwick finds the shutdown and trades the kill. So that is definitely a net win for Warwick. Will pick up his first item here. We'll see what Dreadful decides to buy while he's respawning here.
Up, and Jacimbo able to dodge the Pike Q. Jacimbo's ult is still down for a little bit. Oh, and nearly being able to find Yone, but Jacimbo having to be careful here, as there now are 3 members of Tiffin, even though Yone is low, that could be threatening for a potential full dive.
Yeah, so I mean, Jacimbo able to play so aggressive up there, has the Malignance. I don't even think he had ult up during that interaction. But just kind of knows his champion really well, super far ahead. And even with Sejuani and Pike in the area, was still just able to play like super aggro, which just crazy. But Valpo up to 2.5k gold lead. Taking a look at CS, mid lane up huge, down a decent bit in the top lane, especially with that big wave crashing for the side of Bethel. Valpo up in the ADC bot lane as well. But yeah, Valpo going to be looking at this next Void Grubs objective. They really want to get those 6 Grubs. Blitzcrank is already in the mid lane looking for a play onto this Yone. We see the Hex Flash over the wall. Is going to find that ward though. The directed cam is funny. It doesn't always kind of want to go where it doesn't always go where you want it to. So
we are going to see though with Dreadful and Warwick fighting again. We are going to see that Warwick's ult is up, but Warwick does have, because of the extra CS, Warwick does have the advantage in terms in terms of damage. But we are going to see the Sejuani does try to find the ult, but Dreadful is going to have to commit his flash in order to dodge that ult.
Yep, and Diadem doing a great job down here. He's been alone a lot. Oh, nice hook though by the Law. Pyke forced to flash away, and the ultimate from Veigar. Fortunately, going to do it. Ahri finds the charm, going to finish off that kill. Looks like that is going to secure 6 grubs over to Valpo. But what I was just saying, I was going to kind of acknowledge Diadem surviving down there in that 1v2 lane, 1v3 lane for several different periods in the game, but does end up dying for the first time this game here. And Blitzcrank is just playing for the recall here. Gonna find the knockup, gonna find the hook and the ult, and Jakimbo is dominating, has 10 Dark Seal stacks, 7-0-2, 500 gold bounty, and likely gonna back and either find a full Magi's or an item. And Dreadful going to drop again to the Warwick, and Warwick, very strong champion into Gnar. At one point this matchup was 3-0 for the side of Gnar, and kind of finding himself at a 4-2. I mean, Warwick is just deceptively strong in this like early to mid game in the dueling, and you just got to really know what he's able to do. It's kind of a matchup check. So
as I say, we still don't see Dreadful. We don't see any executioners calling on Dreadful still, which I think which I understand the one of obviously trying to get that force,
yeah,
force of natures, but the cloth or the even building most of the cloth armor that executioner's calling is just so big in terms of that.
yeah.
Health
So
negation.
I think he doesn't want to build it just because it doesn't build anything. It's kind of awkward for him. But I mean, for him to have success in the lane, he's got to build it. And if he doesn't want to, then you just got to be aware that you don't have any anti-heal. Same issue kind of with Ahri here, as you see Yon building into the Blade of the Ruin King. Ahri doesn't really want to build anti-heal. Like, she wants to build damage. She's 7-0-2, has the fully stacked Dark Seals. So Zig's probably going to be the best option, as well as J4 with a Thorn Mail for that anti-heal, but that's not going to really take effect until like mid to late game. So that's, you know, a decision that it looks like Valpo's starting to make. Not really sure if it's the right one or not, but regardless, Warwick and Yon are going to be healing in the meantime.
Definitely can be a little scary. We are going to see though that Pyke is going to be towards the top side, trying to get Vision ready for Rift Herald. But with that being said, so far we've had 100% success rate so far, in 100% success rate on trying to ensure that objectives are gotten from Valpo's end. But with that being said, we're going to see the Law and Diadem play really well together to ensure that they are able to get that kill and actually they're going to be able to destroy the rest of that tower due to Zig's pass, due to the Zig's Q.
Yeah, Dreadful was at like 3/4 health there. Warwick was at 1/4, and they ended that trade swapping health bars. Warwick close to full, and he's going to use his, I believe it's his W here to kind of speed up, threaten Dreadful there in his recall, but Dreadful, rightfully so, playing all the way under his tier 2, unfortunately. It's what you got to do. So we'll TP back to catch the next wave. And Bethel here is, you know, taking the blue buff, having a little pressure, but Valpo will gladly take that trade for the tier mid 1.
Yeah, you see the Ziggs early rotating to ensure that they can break that mid tier 1 open from Bethel's side, ensuring that there's just more pressure there. We're gonna see Diadem TP towards the mid lane, as it looks like we are gonna currently have a 4v4. Yone does have his TP up. Super is gonna try to find the purchase on the Warwick. Warwick is gonna get chunked down pretty significantly by Dreadful. We see the Warwick flash. Gnar is able to find it, but Diadem is caught out slightly. The Law is there to be able to help. Purchase not be found. We are seeing Super Bear. Super Bear is going to commit, and Diadem just with a split-second 2-lay on the ultimate, needing a little bit more work with that, but we're going to see that Super Bear is going to once again be able to clean up that Sejuani. Jakimbo is going in on the Pyke, and Valpo takes that team fight where they had a 4v5 disadvantage and is able to turn it around into a 3-0 for Valpo.
Yeah, Valpo is kind of positioning for that Rift Herald and decide, you know what, we're just going to take their team, take the mid tier 2, and they got their eyes on Rift Herald now and are going to be able to take it, I think, big in that team. Oh, TP flank, though. From Yon, gonna be looking. Oh, Warwick, excuse me, gonna be looking for someone here. Looks like they're looking to collapse on Ziggs. But not too big of a threat here because Valpo is still grouped up, and they're just gonna find a hook. Hopefully find a pick, but Warwick's healing gonna be a little scary. We'll see if they're able to kill him.
Oh, and DNM is going to be able to find his way out with that W, and is
Oh.
actually going to be able to pick off that final kill with just the tiniest bit of health left.
I feel like Diadem has been in a constant state of just like trying his very best to survive. They want him.
His actions per minute are through the roof right now, trying to prevent even if one more auto is able to get off by the
He's not having a great time.
But to be
they're
fair to
winning.
DNM, he's holding his own extremely well.
Yeah.
He's up 40 CS, up a kill, and up 5 assists and 1 less death than the Vagar.
He's doing great. He is doing great. We'll see if Jakimbo decides to. I really would like to see Jakimbo buy the Magi's. Not really sure if it's the best purchase, but it would be fun.
It would be interesting. We would see Jakimbo full commit because he is 8-4 right now. But also, you know as well as I do, as soon as you buy a Magi's, it almost magically feels like that you just die.
Yep, it's a true combo. Magi's into dying.
So you either just keep the Dark Seal at like 10 or 6, and you're fine with all that extra AP, or you go Magi's and you either pop off, or you get anti-popped off.
Yep, and going to just be playing the recall here from the Yoni. Does see the Pike, so going to have to play a little timid here. Does use ult to dodge it, but Yon going to find the flash ult and going to find the shutdown. That will do it for his bounty there.
And I was going to say we are going to see that is really going to be the main cause of just overcommitting to, or overstaying his welcome in the bot lane. Jakimbo was absolutely extremely strong, but
yeah, I think he had ult with Ahri and was just feeling confident about it. But Valpo, going to cross map, find their gold advantage here. Warwick has his ult down, so not going to be able to escape, but does find the fear. And Super Bear going to go for the ultimate. A little deep here. Pike going to find the hook. And Yon getting another shutdown. So Yon with 3 kills, 2 of them being pretty big shutdowns. Another thing of note, Valpo still yet to build some anti-heal. I would like to see it before 20 minutes. So just because we're kind of transitioning to this phase where teams rotating around going for turrets. Yon and Warwick are really holding their own in this matchup, especially considering that both of their opponent laners started out 2-0-2, and considering that Super Bear has kind of had a little more presence in the lanes from the jungle. So definitely hats off to the Yon Warwick from the side of Bethel, their top and mid laner. Playing really well in this match, and definitely given some fight. Valpo up 6.5k, but have not gone this match without any adversity.
And we are going to see, it does look like that we are going to have a 4v4 in preparation for this second dragon. It is 18 minutes, and we are only at the second drag, that being a mountain potentially. We're going to see the Law try to go in and find a hook, but not going to be able to find purchase.
What soul do you think it's going to be this game?
I think it's going to be Hextech.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I will say Chemtech, but we are going to have a fight break out here. Oh, someone Blitzcrank stuck in the Vigar stun, going to miss the W, is going to find the hook, and Sejuani goes down. Yon in his E recall mode, looking for an ultimate. They are kind of stuck up in this lane here, but Dreadful going to go down. Yon kind of going for Jakimbo here. Sorry, keep missing all our tags, but is eventually going to be a double kill for the Gnar, and that's 3 members down for the side of Bethel and Valpo. Going to be up 8k now, going to secure this dragon, and I guessed Chemtech, you said Hextech. So we will see who's correct.
I would say I would love to see Cloud, but I don't think that we can see Cloud because we're seeing both Fire and
It's Cloud.
It's Cloud. Of course, because I said what it couldn't be.
It couldn't be Infernal or Mountain.
I for some reason I always thought that because of the 2 new dragons, that if it was any combination of the 2 old dragons, that it couldn't be a soul of the 2 new ones, or couldn't be a soul of the 2 old ones. But guess I was wrong.
Can't be a soul of the 2 dragons that were taken already.
Okay.
of the first 2 dragons. But anyways, Valpo going to secure their second dragon here. Going to have their eyes on that Cloud Soul as well as Bethel's Nexus. And that Cloud Soul going to be really good for Jakimbo. And yeah, that's about it.
No, I think it's good for the law being able to reposition himself and get.
Oh yeah.
And then, hey, Diadem needs to stay out of fights, so.
Yeah, I'm not a big Cloud Soul fan unless if you're like a few select champions. Then it's like a few champions is just crazy on.
If you're Hecarim.
Yeah, Hecarim. Oh, who was I thinking of? Oh, Olaf, Gwen. Just a few unique situations where it's like the best soul for sure. But going to have a little scuffle here in the mid lane. Ziggs just going to use his W to bounce away here. And Yon going to find a potential pick on Dreadful here. Do have Sejuani, or excuse me, that's Pike there. And Yon going to find yet another shutdown. 3 of his kills being shutdowns. And Jakimbo flashing for that one, yoinking it from a Diadem there. Extra securing that kill. And going to kind of be a 1-for-1 pick trade there. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the gold lead here though, because Yon has so many shutdowns that he might not be as behind as you would think.
We are going to see right around 600, right around 600 gold on the top side. We are going to see almost 2,000 in the mid lane, about 800 in the mid lane. Again, definitely catching up pretty significantly at Bethel. It is almost a 3K gold lead though in the bot lane, which again, even though Veigar is extremely strong, if he's so far gold behind, he can't. His phenomenal evil stacks only do so much.
Yeah, so I mean the gold lead's really just coming from bot and jungle and support. Where Jakimbo is 10-1, but Yon has had so many kills from shutdown, has been keeping up in the farm, looking to find another kill on a Dreadful here, and he will find it with that ultimate and the E. But Dreadful fighting back and not able to do it. It actually was a lot closer than I thought there. And Bethel's going to be potentially looking for a turret here, not going to be able to find it. But got to be a little scared of these gold bounties for Bethel, as they're, not necessarily back in the game yet, but they're, clawing their way and fighting very hard for sure.
Vapo definitely needs to tighten up their security. Again, when you're ahead, it's absolutely amazing to see, but when you're ahead, the game gives you opportunities to get back in the game. And Bethel is, to their credit, taking a lot of those opportunities to be able to help get back.
We are a bias production booth here, but got to give credit where credit is due. And Bethel is hanging in there and playing pretty well. Specifically, their Yon is having a really good game, especially just considering how fed Jakimbo is. So that's got to be the worst feeling in League, when your laner just comes to lane at 2 minutes into the game and he's already 2-0, like with an extra item. Like it's a tough situation to be in, but he's doing well.
And we are going to see though that Valpo is going to be preparing for a Baron here. We're going to see that Dreadful is in the bot wave with the potential with the TP as needed. No one being shown on vision quite yet. We are going to see the Pytho is going to come in and try to find the pick on the law, which they're going to be able to do. Ziggs ultimate doing the major damage. Super Bear locking down 2 members of Tippin. Chibo able to find the kick on the Pike, and then Diadem finding another, and the Veigar being able to slay Diadem, but Jakimbo is able to clean up, and Valpo is able to take Baron for 1.
Yeah, so Pike kind of just finding the wrong target on Valpo. They hooked in the law. He was actually able to silence their whole team. J4 was able to engage there. The TP came in, and Valpo was able to clean up for a 4-for-1. Going to secure this Baron, but do have to watch out for Pike. Going to see if he wants to sneak around, maybe look for an ultimate. Ult is actually on cooldown, but Valpo is going to secure it. And looks like we do see... Okay. I thought we were seeing some pings from Bethel for that top turret. But yeah, Valpo going to be going for this soul point, and it looks like Bethel's strategy is maybe to try and trade top lane for it. So Dreadful does not have TP as it was used for the Baron, so not going to have anyone to match that top lane, at least no one heading that direction from base. But Valpo pushing with Baron is going to be very strong, going to have to be addressed pretty soon. But those gold bounties, kind of just a trade. So we'll see who the trade ends up favoring. But Bethel smartly trying to play cross map here.
As I say, we're gonna see Jakimbo here. Jakimbo able, I think, to find the final pick on the Gromp. Super Bear able to knock up the Yone, and Dreadful is able to finalize that pit. They're going to look to overload this bottom tier 2 turret, and then I either going to go inhibitor and then probably rotate right after they get this tower, rotate for Dragon.
Yep,
Or
able
they
to
might
find the
just
charm, and that's going to do it for Vygar. Warwick going to have to start his recall here. Was able to find the turret. Valpo has a decision maker. Are they going to go for these Nexus turrets? Are they going to go for the end, or are they going to go for the dragon here? They're going to find the first turret. Big Sejuani ult. Gnar responds with an ultimate, and Sejuani will go down from the Gnar, and it looks like Valpo is going to be able to take game 1 here. 26 minutes, 30-11. Gold lead, finishing about at 12k. But great game for Valpo. Jakimbo, dominant game. Some things for the side of Bethel that were positive. Warwick, their top laner, did a very good job in lane, and Yon did a great job finding those shutdowns, finding those picks. I think some things to improve for them is their jungle presence in the lane early, having impact on the game, and also their bot lane, trying to capitalize when they had those 3v1s. If they're able to focus Diadem and get him super far behind, that can be tough for the side of Valpo. But yeah, what are your kind of thoughts on game 1?
I was gonna say, echoing the same thoughts you said, Jakimbo was able to absolutely, kind of take over the game for at least the early to mid game. Yone was able to start clawing his way back, towards around 18 minutes to 25. We saw that even though Dreadful was ahead in the lane, a little bit of some overextensions, from his part, were able to at least get that Warwick back into the game and really cause, a true competition, I would say, ever since like 11 minutes onwards. Diadem, we've said this before, and I will continue to say it again. Diadem's ability to kind of be able to negate a 1v2, or at least be able to mitigate how much he should be losing in a 1v2, cannot go understated. As when the law is able to roam and get a whole bunch of other members fed, Diadem is able just to kind of slow the pace at which you would think the bot lane is working a lot.
Yeah.
So hats off to Diadem for, again, allowing the law to go roam and go get everyone else so far ahead that by the time he gets help, the rest of the team is already 2,000 gold ahead on almost every other lane.
Diadem really understands his role in this current meta. It kind of stinks for ADCs as it has for like the past 3 seasons. But he's going to be put in situations, especially on that Ziggs, where he's going to be stuck under turret versus 2 or 3 people. And he just has to, have faith in his teammates that they're going to be able to get more gold and more value from the cross map plays. And Valpo has always been able to do that in these series. Has looked really good doing it. So I thought Diadem also played really well, and Dreadful kind of just got matchup checked there. So he came in a lane with a lot of items, really strong, did have a lot of great plays in team fights. But Warwick is a strong laner, and you got to he's scary. So, but yeah, their top laner for Bethel having a pretty solid game there himself. But yeah, without further ado, I think we are going to head to a short break before we hop into game 2.
welcome back, Valpo, for the second game of Bethel versus Valpo Esports for the final regular series GLEC match. Once again, going off of the final pick and we're already into the pick and ban stage. We are going to see that Valpo is going to kind of respond with the same bands that we saw earlier: the Skarner, the Poppy, and we did see Silas last time, so we'll see if that Silas band will continue to run through.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see Silas or potentially Yon too, depending on how they felt about it. As far as Bethel B1, what are you kind of expecting here?
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw they saw the success of Diadem Ziggs and went for it on their own. Ziggs has just been an extremely popular champion. We are not going to see a Syndra ban though, so Bethel could be going for a Syndra
Yeah,
angle here
I think
too.
Syndra would be a great pick. Yon would be a great pick. Ziggs as well. I don't know if Ziggs is kind of in their wheelhouse, but yeah, we're going to see the Syndra. I think that was what Valpo was expecting, which means what is good in the Syndra? Talia, probably not a Talia angle.
I what would I like to see? What would I like to
Well,
see
they
with
just pick up
some
the Ziggs anyways.
Jakimbo taking a little bit more
Oh,
time to figure out what he
oh, never
wants to
mind,
see.
it's banned. I was gonna say Aurora, but it's banned.
Oh yeah, Aurora's just super. Aurora's super good, and also the fact that she's a really good flex pick.
I think we're
Um,
gonna see maybe a carry jungle or Viego here too. Viego.
Vega would make a lot of sense here. Just again, Syndra does only have her one. She has the E to disengage, but since it's on such a long cooldown,
Or we could see the Nocturne Ori.
that would also be extremely interesting.
Something we saw played with Simon and Chance
Yeah,
couple last week.
or no,
Um,
yeah. Simon and Chance played it, and then the game before that, the game also with Sal
I think
Sushi.
this R2 is going to give us a lot of direction. All right, so it is Viego.
A really,
Sweet.
yeah, a solid pick. So probably a little something a bit more defensive in the mid lane.
Yep. And that means we're going to need some engage, some frontline from somewhere. And that is likely going to be from the law. So, with that in mind, I'm thinking a Nautilus who does really well in the pike.
Nautilus is amazing. Or who knows? Maybe we could see Dreadful on the on that infamous Nautilus top angle.
I saw Jakimbo playing Nautilus mid the other day in a scrim too, which I have no idea if that's like completely troll or not, but it'd be kind of crazy to see in a game.
Whenever it's Shikimbo playing anything, it's usually never a troll. Usually, at the very
Oh
least, it's him
no,
having
or he's like
fun.
trolling and he still wins just because he's good at the game.
Now,
It's like watching like one of those YouTube videos of like the like someone building like full AP on like some tank champion, and then you try in your game, or it's like watching the boss on Psy on top, and then you try in your game and it just goes terribly.
and you're not saying that just because you're a avid fan of Scion in the top lane, right?
Yeah. But going to see the Nocturne, kind of picked away here. Could have been. Oh wait, no, we already have Viego. I'm going to just pick the Ari. So it makes a lot of sense. Going to have a bit of a pick comp here. The Ari also having a lot of mobility versus the Syndra, the Pike, the Nocturne. So that's going to be really important to kind of be self-sufficient there. And bans. So we are going to see some top lane bans. Probably going to match the same as last time. Probably Dr. Mundo, and I forget what their B5 ban was in game one, but I remember seeing a Mundo.
I thought it was Jax, or could have been Bethel's
Yeah, that could have been
response.
Bethel's ban against us too, though. Oh, the Warwick ban. Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
We also could see maybe it could also be the Warwick Yone because Yone can be played top too. We've seen since you said yourself up in the first game we've been seeing a lot of Yone in the worlds
Yeah, you can see Yon top for sure. Um,
or the Mundo.
I feel like this game they might lean towards like a more tanky top lane, engagey, like a Ornn or Ornn. I
Orn.
think a Ornn would make a lot of sense.
And especially if the game is starting to go longer. Again,
Or the
Syndra's.
Mundo that they like too. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, yeah, Mundo also kind of an expected ban. I would be again, Orin would be a really great pick here. Again, not at all biased on the fact that out of the two games that I played for so far for the season, I played Orin both times. But again, just a really strong champion overall, and a lot of team fight potential, which not Ziggs with a good team fight of the ultimate, but again, usually a really good pick or even wave clear. But we're going to see the final ban come out from Bethel pretty soon, and we are going to see the Jax ban again.
Yep.
So
Jax also does really good in the Warwick. Maybe that's what the ban was for game 1 too. But Dreadful also just good on it. And we're going to see the Bard, signature pick from the Law. Something you do not see too often in comp, but the Law piloting this champion is a sight to behold.
it's always crazy watching the law kind of use the power of chimes to just make sure that the enemy team can't really do anything. He's the maestro of the game, at least in the bot lane, and with his roam potential that we were talking about earlier, that just allows him to get Ari, get help VA go with objectives, and then help whoever Beppo's top lane is gonna be, because they were gonna keep that secret until R5.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be a Scion top. We are in for a treat. I'm a big Scion fan. As we just mentioned earlier, I was kind of shocked though because Scion blind is very, very, very bad. I was gonna I don't know what the word I was gonna use is, atrocious maybe.
Risky. Worse than
Yeah,
risky?
I mean I don't want to dog Bethel's pick. In my personal experience, blind picking Scion is bad. And we are likely. Oh, the Gwen would have been perfect here, but too much AP potentially. They might just pick the Gwen anyways.
I was gonna say, true damage.
Gwen is so good. Oh, Malphite? No, it's not the Malphite. Can't be. Darius maybe?
Darius
It's
make
not
these-
gonna be Malphite. It can't be. I think there's no way.
No,
I hear
no.
him giggling out there.
I was gonna say they're gonna put Cassante up there, but are they gonna give us a case of caster syndrome, where as soon as we say something, they're gonna do the opposite, and we are gonna see the Cassante pick. So again, definitely what you were saying, a lot of that engage, or a lot of that tankiness, a lot of that potential, but again, Cassante's ability to just transform all that tankiness into all-out damage with his ultimate could be really good picks, specifically on the Ashe or Syndra. If he's able to zone them and pick them off, they're not gonna be able to do anything to help their team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you're completely right there. Cassante, Tunnel Vision versus the Scion. Like, if you're just talking about top lane, there's better picks. But as far as our team composition, Cassante really rounds it out and makes it an actual team comp versus us kind of just playing our own individual champs we want to play. So this fits really nicely with the team and what they need and what Cassante can provide. But yeah, so looking at the top lane matchup, going to be Scion versus Cassante. Jungle, we got Viego versus Nocturne. Mid, Ari versus Syndra. And rounding out in support, we got the Ziggs and Bard for the side of Alpo versus Ashe and Pike.
I was gonna say Bethel almost had a full blue. Just something funny to notice as we
Yeah.
have a few minutes. Everyone at least has somewhat of a blue or kind of purple. Syndra with that blue and purple, and then Scion is just with that dark red. Maybe we'll see one of as Frostfire skin. But with that being said, just final thing, I know that last time that Valpo went up against an Ashe, the Law was always somehow magically found his way to get hit with a lot of the Ashe ultimates. So for Valpo's sake, I hope that the Law is able to not get targeted by all the Ashe ults. But
Absolutely.
just a little fun thing to note. But with that being said, we are going to take a quick break as we get ready for the second game, Valpo versus Bethel, 1-0. We'll catch you soon, Beacons.
welcome back to Game 2 of Valpo League of Legends versus Bethel University.
And we're gonna see maybe not as interesting of a start this game. We are gonna see the 5-man stack from the side of Bethel, trying to repeat what happened to them last game, but no one's in the bush to be able to find anything. With that being said, though, again, something a little fun to point out is, especially with all the jungle changes, we're not seeing that Nocturne or Viego bite a potion, so saving as much gold as they can to start their items.
Yeah, neither of them. I mean, Viego definitely doesn't need a potion. Nocturne, could use one. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Also, not a ton of like invade threat either. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Valpo, unfortunately, kind of decline in the early game shenanigans because they're going into a Sion and Pike and a Nash level 1 and the Nocturne AoE auto. And they do not have many level 1 options like they did last game. So little more slow, not as exciting start, unfortunately. But also a smart decision by Valpo.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a slow start. Again, when
Yeah,
you're
good League of Legends is boring.
unfortunately
So I mean, you'll
we
watch
see
games at
worlds.
Worlds and it'll be like 15, 20 minutes before you see a kill happen.
Well,
Um,
I think just recently, Worlds made history, with this Worlds made history with the longest amount of time. I think 19 minutes before the first kill was
yeah, that's
done.
insane. And but we are gonna see a Pike hook early and a great stun. That could have been a very unadvantageous trade for Valpo, but able to find the stun. So the Ashe is super strong level 1 just because has the slow on the autos. Can just do a lot.
This gives a lot of extra crowd control ability. We are going to see that Jakimbo is going to get found with that early combo from Syndra, just doing a lot of damage.
Yep.
Pike's trying to find a hook, not being able to fully find anything, just an auto from Diadem being used instead.
So it looks like Super Bear is going to be heading for a gank in the mid lane, and he is done with his 3 camps before Nocturne is, so is going to have a little pace here. But we are going to see a hook into the stun in the bot lane in the late flash. Oh, and just finds the heal, but not enough. And that is going to be first blood to Ashe. It looks like Viego kind of just walking through the mid lane there, wasn't able to find it, so just going to transition to his full clear. Both junglers full clearing here, not going to meet up at the Scuttle Crab. And Ziggs, luckily having teleport here. Ziggs, one of the few ADCs who bring teleport to the matchup. So not going to lose too much, but Ashe is going to have an advantage with that first blood.
And again, it's just if you're Valpo and you're going against an Ashe always just feels like she's just really annoying with the fact of that W having such decent universal.
Oh.
Dreadful is actually going to get hit twice by that turret there.
Is he able to find the kill on that Q3? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, so he does the dash in there, and San hit him with the E at the same time. So unfortunately, it does take 2 turret shots. And Nocturne is going to be topside for this. They have not seen him on the map yet. So hopefully Dreadful keeps an eye out for that. Still has his ward available, both wards available actually, and is going to be pushed up very far without mana, and also doesn't have flash up. So
does look like Dreadful might just be looking to try to get the pick onto the Scion, but not be able to find anything.
I mean, unfortunately, just at 4 minutes in the game, and like the jungle's full cleared, like you got to use your wards. So
yeah.
2-0 start for the side of Bethel, but we are going to have Super Bear trying to shake things up. Not able to find the stun, and a 2-man stun from Pike, and Bethel able to sneak out of that one.
Definitely not as strong of a start to this game as it was last game for Valpo. Something to also point out is that we are going to see that both TPs are being used by top laners, and both flashes were used actually right around the exact same time. It looked like as Dreadful tried to get that Q3 poke, and as Cyan had to dodge that Q3.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Looking at the CS here, advantage to Valpo in the mid and ADC, and just about even everywhere else. So
we are going to see that Jakimbo is going to force an absolutely huge wave onto the Syndra, just again taking her a lot of time in order to be able to clear that wall. That is going to allow Ari, if she would want to, a pretty easy back. And Dreadful able to find it. We do see that the Pike is going to clear vision in preparation for the first dragon, which once again we do see a mountain dragon.
So we see Sam with 2 ruby crystals here, going to be building into that Heartsteel most likely. Scion builds can be very interesting depending on what you want to go, but we do see the gank from Pyke here, able to find the hook, but not the stun. Jakimbo, and unfortunately having to spend flash there, not having ultimate up yet. But Syndra pretty low here, so.
And the law does show presence in the mid wave, trying to prepare for Syndra oversteps. We do see also Viego is in the other side of the bush looking for something here. We are going to see though that it's going to be another double flash for flash trade, flash from Super, flash for Syndra here.
Yeah, great reaction time by Bethel's mid laner there.
Are going to see it does look like the Dreadful is going to start making his way towards Krabs, and we are going to see the Syndra is going to throw down her TP to get back in lane, and with her having Elixir, it is going to be slightly scary.
Yep.
But
so Bethel with about a 1k gold lead here. Definitely in the driver's seat at the beginning of game 2. And Valpo is looking for those grubs though. Grubs super important with this Ziggs for sure. We do see pings coming out from the side of Bethel looking to contest. Unfortunately, Scion did a recall, does have ultimate available, so we'll see what happens here, but this is going to be kind of the first skirmish. Syndra using ultimate here, going to do a lot of damage, but not going to find the kill. We have Nocturne flashing in, not able to find the kill on Viego still, and we do have Cassandra using the all-out, going to find the kill onto the Syndra. Nocturne, unfortunately, does drop, and they are able to sneak one grub away from Valpo, but that is a net trade win for the side of Valpo, going up 2-1.
2 for 1, and I was going to say, I don't even, no other abilities were used in that fight, but we did see that, we saw that Nocturne obviously had to, tried to flash and wasn't able to find success, so knocking down Dreadful's ultimate, and Ari's, but also we've seen the Syndra's and the Nocturne flash. So all in all, kind of a net positive especially for Valpo, including the objective.
Yep. And looking at the gold that those kills went on, Nocturne for the side of Bethel and Dreadful for the side of Valpo, but we do see Scion just ult away here and going to be able to stop the turret. So Valpo spending some time sending members up to the top lane, but unfortunately not going to be able to do much. We do see Pyke dash in, finds the hook onto Bard. Going after W away, great flash timing off of that Ashe ult. He was ready for it. That's trigger finger right there. Great reaction time for the Law. Is going to get hooked in again, and that Ignite, unfortunately, is going to finish up the kill. Ziggs low on mana. Is he able to find it? Barrier comes out from Ashe, and yeah, just either doesn't have cooldowns, doesn't have the mana, and Bethel going to find the double kill in the bot lane. One of those kills going over to Pyke. And Bethel finding the dragon, up over 1,000 gold here, and playing very well at the start of game 2.
I was gonna say with Bethel having a little bit of a stronger game, do you think that Valpo's team comp is enough late game scaling to help to kind of overcome this early lead, or is it going to be even more of an uphill battle than might be normal for Valpo?
I think Bethel scales better in this game. I think Valpo has more of a pick comp here. But we do see Jakimbo get hooked, is going to use ultimate to avoid the stun, and going to find an assist onto Syndra. Unfortunately, that kill is going over to Law, not to Dreadful. But what I kind of think about, looking into the mid and late game is Valpo kind of depends on how these grubs go. But Valpo definitely in a disadvantage in the late game, but I think they've been making some mistakes in this early game, and I think they're going to find a way to fight back in this one, but it is not going to be due to them scaling. So I think Bethel definitely in the driver's seat and has a late game advantage for sure. So Valpo is going to have to pull out all the stops to if they want to win this game. Although it is only 400 gold, so I'm talking too monotone for the lead. Valpo is in a fine position.
We are going to see Super Bear come in to try to.
This may be what they need.
Law is not going to be fully able to find the sub, but Super Bear is going to use his ultimate, but also going to be able to get Pyke, which is going to be able to overload that bot lane a little bit, allowing Diadem to get some much needed plating here.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the dive maybe for Valpo, although maybe just didn't have the vision on where Nocturne was, and Nocturne having an ultimate can kind of be anywhere at any time. So, us, the all-seeing observers of this game, having no fog of war, see that. But Super Bear honestly probably making a smart play, you know. Not having the Fog of Wars makes the game completely different. So
100% have to agree, but we are going to see, though, that Pike is going to be nearby. Super Bear is going to look to try to get another pick onto the Pike, not being able to find anything, but with 4 people of Valpo in the bot lane, Grubs are up in just about 13 seconds. Nocturne could actually be looking to maybe take Grubs early here.
yeah, he's recalling, and so is Syndra recalling. So Valpo may actually have tempo on this, but that Ashe ult along with the Pike ult is going to find the kill on Ziggs. And Pike also going to find the ultimate eventually onto Bard here, able to find that actual ult execute for the extra gold income. And Valpo still only down 5k gold, even though this after that double kill. Yeah.
Definitely.
Sion with TP and with ultimate can just like back so often and just get back to lane immediately for the wave. Sorry.
Yeah, because half the time all that Sion really needs to use his ultimate for is just get back to lane, pretty fast.
It's either to get out of lane, run away from a gank, or to get back to lane.
Dreadful does have to be careful here, as there are 3 members of Alpo. We are going to see, though, that Sion is going to ult in. Nocturne going onto Jakimbo. Super Bear is found by 3 sides, but Nocturne is super far overextended right now, as the Law, Dreadful, and Jakimbo are trying to find a purchase on to Nocturne. And Nocturne is going to fall to Jakimbo, and Super Bear was able to get out of that cursed scuffle back from Pike and Syndra and Sion.
Yeah, it looked like a very promising start based off like just positionally for the side of Bethel. But Nocturne just going a little too deep there, chasing after that kill, and Valpo going to be able to secure 5 grubs this game, which gets those Voidling spawn is going to be huge for their push in this game.
Obviously, it would have been even nicer to have all 6 with the double, but
yeah, but
there's
also
nothing you can do.
Big to deny it from the Scion as well too. Can be a lethal threat. Splitting, especially because Cassante is gonna want to be with the team in team fights. But looks like Sion is gonna reset, get that heart steal. Oh, maybe not. But Valpo is gonna reset and have their eyes on this dragon. Second drag is going to be Infernal. What are your guesses for the soul this game?
Okay.
It's funny because we actually saw the first 2 dragons in this exact order in game 1. We saw Mountain and then Infernal.
So now here's the $1 million question. Do I say Cloud and have it be a full repeat of last game, which includes Valpo winning, or do I change it up slightly and see where that reality takes us? You know what? I answered first, Henry, so I will throw that question back to you first.
I'm going Cloud.
I will go Chemtech.
All right. Well, hopefully one of the teams will decide to take the second dragon this game, so we can find the outcome of that.
We are going to have to wait till around 20 minutes for this. Hopefully the second drag to appear. We are going to see that it is going to currently be kind of a 4v5. Sion is in the top lane alone right now. Super is getting chunked out, but Sion does not have a way to assist in the team fight.
Does have ultimate, not the TP, so not quite as efficient, but can get down if needed. But it looks like he's just going to look for the plates, and Bethel's just going to try and stall this out. So Valpo needs to make a decision, because the longer they take, the more Sion is getting in this top lane.
And it does look like Valpo is going to choose that they are going to want to start taking the dragon here. And it does look like Bethel is not wanting to fight this.
A smart play by Bethel, because not only are they getting mid-prow, plates on mid, or well, plates just fell. But they're getting a lot of damage on the mid turret, but they are going to find one with the Bard ultimate, going to look for an engage here. Jakimbo does have ultimate available here. Is he going to dash in? Oh, just misses the charm and going to dash back out to safety. Cassante looking for an in here, trying to go all out onto someone. And we do see the Nocturne ult come out somewhat defensively, but he is going to go in onto the Cassante. Cassante does find the shutdown onto Ashe. And we do have this Rift Herald objective up. Cassante going to get that Q3 and going to find the kill on the Nocturne. And it looks like Valpo is going to turn their attention to the Rift Herald here eventually, or this mid-tier 1. But Valpo looking good in that team fight, kind of finding their first bigger positive interaction in this game, and they're slowly but surely evening up this gold and just down 1 kill. So Valpo going to secure the Rift Herald, and Cassante very, very strong, 4-1 in this game.
Definitely, Cassante getting a lot of that gold is definitely very helpful again, especially with the Ziggs now being able to desolate that turret pretty fast. Again, opening up the map a little bit. While Valpo did lose their top tier 1, which was the first turret to go down, not necessarily the worst thing that you want to see either. But with the two objectives, with the tower and the Rift Herald gotten, that is going to shorten up the gold lead to just around 700. So if we can see one good Rift Herald play here, especially if either in the top or bot lane breaking 2 towers, with the Void Grubs, that Void, that could spell amazing news for Valpo.
Yep, so looking at the gold lead individually, Valpo is ahead slightly, top, jungle, and mid, and Bethel just has a pretty big lead in the bot and support, which is kind of creating that 1k gold lead for them in total, for the total team gold. And we are going to see the Hextech Soul. Did you guess?
Chemtech.
Oh, jeez.
I would love to take credit, but that is not the way. That's not the way about taking credit for something you didn't say. So, but we are going to see the Pyke is going to try to continue to get wards, and Diadem is able to kill the Pyke over a ward.
Yep, Diadem is on the board now, and that's big confidence booster there. And was that? Oh, that was on Pyke. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, was that a shutdown on Ashe? But we are tied up even in kills now across the board, and Valpo is almost even in gold here as well. We are going to see Cassante get that Q3. We do have Nocturne kind of hovering in the area, but looks like he's just going to recall.
Now, unfortunately, now we're at a point in the top lane where both Sion and Cassante are so tanky that not a lot of things are going to be happening.
Yeah, Sion is just getting Heartsteel stacks, and Cassante getting Grasp stacks, but he is chipping him away. Could go for an all-out here. Does have ultimate available. We'll see if he decides to use it after his Q3, but Nocturne's in the area. Do not have vision on him, so got to be careful for that. And he is going to go to the top lane, the ultimate, going to find the slow, and Nocturne going to get the fear, and that will do it. So Nocturne does find the shutdown on Cassante. So actually probably a win for the side of Bethel there, as they do find the shutdown.
And we do see Super Bear is in the river, with Nocturne and Pyke both nearby, but with no ult from Nocturne, does not look like that they are. Bethel is going to try to take full advantage of that potential 2v1.
Yep.
But as I say, props to Bethel again, keeping the gold lead very, not allow it. Any lead that Valpo gets is going to kind of get counter. I don't want to say counter. God, that's not the right word. But is going to kind of get subsidized by Bethel getting their own counter lead themselves. They're going to see though that Pyke was in their jungle and just actually over that wall, which could have spelled disaster if they knew that Pyke was exactly where he was. We are seeing though that with 4 members of each side towards the bot lane, they are getting ready for the Hextech Dragon that is spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah, so gold is still even here 18 minutes into the game. So Valpo was able to even that up eventually. You know, kind of mentioned it, we are transitioning into the mid game. I do think Bethel is favored slightly in the late game. I know the Sion is. Viego's maybe slightly favored. Syndra definitely is. And I'm not too sure. Bard does kind of fall, or Pyke definitely falls off. And Bard, I believe, falls off a bit too. Does he?
I think Bard falls off slightly.
He does get the charm stacks though.
We are going to hear the Sion ultimate being used. Sion is going to be making his way towards the dragon. We are seeing
this is going to be a big knock up on whoever's TP in here.
Oh, Cassante is able to dodge it, and we're going to see that the stun does get found on the Syndra with the Ziggs ultimate doing major damage, but Dreadful is going to find the final attack onto the
huge Ziggs ultimate. Sion misses the Q there, and they're going to find the kill there. So Valpo going to take the lead here. Going to be up 1k now. Sion in his passive, just getting those Heartsteel stacks, but it's going to be 3-0 for the side of Valpo, and they're going to get the dragon. 3-0 as long as Dreadful decides to slow down here.
Dreadful doesn't have to get too crazy here.
Yeah, Dreadful not having the best of games in game 1, not really playing like himself, but he is doing great here in game 2.
And it does look like that we are going to see that Valpo is going to overload the mid-tier 2 turret. And with
and the Rift Herald.
With Super Bear piloting the Rift Herald, A lot of ultimates on Bethel's are still down, so we're going to see that the crash is going to cause about 2/3 of the damage being done. Syndra trying to find a pick on Dreadful, but the Unstoppable is going to allow him to not get caught out, and Valpo is going to have to choose the reset here, which could be a little scary if Bethel decides to fully commit. We are going to see that the Unstoppable is used. Dreadful taking a lot of damage here, but Dreadful is in tank mode right now, not really getting fully chunked out. And we are going to see the flash from Nocturne here. And Super Bear and Jakimbo going on the pike, trying to find him, not being able to fully get him down. But this is going to cause both sides to have to reset. So Bethel kind of losing the ability to maybe force a Baron play here.
Yeah, Valpo at some point needed to reset, and they're able to do it here. Syndra does find that ability onto Cassante there. But I feel that Valpo is going to... sorry about that, League client.
Small indie company.
Yeah, the League doesn't always like to cooperate with us. But anyways, Valpo able to reset here, and are going to have their eyes set on this Baron here that spawned just about a minute ago, but I think that is going to be the next objective taken in this game. I think Bethel would be advantageous for them to kind of, try and slow the pace of this game, just because they do have a lot of stacking champions that do well in the late game. But both teams just need to kind of look for vision and fight well over these objectives. But they are fighting like crazy. This is insane, but Sion does end up finding the kill on a Super Bear. We do see the TP in from Jakimbo, going to find the charm onto the Ashe. And we see Bethel super deep under Valpo's turret here, and Diadem going to find the kill on a Nocturne. Sion is so tanky here with those 163 stacks of Heartsteel, and Ari just dashing out of that Syndra stun. Cassante looking for an angle here, going to flash, find Q2, or Q1, excuse me. But going to be a whole lot used and not a lot of actual kills going over to anyone. Going to be a 1-for-1 jungle trade there. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that fight even happened. Like, Bethel looked like they were going like crazy deep there, and Valpo was like looking for the pick initially.
Definitely not a planned fight.
Yeah.
I think one member of I know Super Bear started to try to get the damage onto the Syndra, and I think from there it was kind of, they believed for a quick pick, and then Bethel decided to turn and fully fight that.
Yeah, they're kind of just pulling back and forth. 1-for-1 overall, but do have this Baron still available in the next Dragon, going to be in 2 minutes. So going to start transitioning that vision from the top side to those bot side quadrants. But yeah, Valpo still pretty much even gold lead. I mean, Valpo with a slight advantage here. Yeah, Jakimbo does have the bounty available now with all that CS. Has been CSing pretty darn well this game, given all the action. Definitely just a little bit under 10 CS a minute. And I'm not even really entertaining this top lane fight because, like, they're just going to be fighting for 30 seconds and no one's going to die. So, but are going to see several members for both sides up here in the top lane. We got 3 so far. For both teams, Bard making his way up there, Ziggs in ult range, and the Sion going to be brought to half here. Going to be very tanky, but looks like they are going to find purchase onto the Sion.
And the Law, once again, is going to be the one to get found with his ultimate on him. We are going to see, see that Syndra.
We are going to see Super Bear pick up a Heartsteel stack there.
Does that? So how does that work?
Diego
gets a Heartsteel stack.
So it gets... Okay. So I don't think he actually gets like the stat bonus from it, but he does like proc the extra damage. But Cassante gonna find a kill on the Nocturne. Nocturne in ultimate here. Going to have the all out on the Ashe, and that's gonna be a double kill. And keep in mind, the Baron is up here, and if Jakimbo finds this kill, that's gonna be a free Baron for the side of Valpo, or at least a lot of turrets here in the top lane. As Valpo is
gonna see that Sion is up, and I don't think that. Even though there are 3 here, Dreadful's so low that they just have to be. I think they're just. They are going to look to try to fully collapse onto the Sion here. Again, with the problem is we do see that Nocturne is up in 3 seconds, but he doesn't have ultimate to be able to help with this fight.
Yeah, I mean,
is going to burn flash, and Ziggs' bomb is going to do a lot of damage. but
The issue
it's
with
just
this
not
is the
enough.
dragon's up and Valpo's just spending a lot of time on the sign here.
Oh wait, we're seeing Bethel go fully, trying to commit fully into those three, and we see that Jakimbo and Super Bear are actually scaling the dragon right now.
Yeah. Seemed like the call was like a little undecided there, but Valpo ended up deciding to go for the drag. I think is a good play here. But Pike is going for the kill onto Dreadful, and he will be low enough for the execute on the ultimate and shut down the double shutdown with the extra gold from the Pike ultimate going over to Pike. So if we take a look at the gold, we are going to see Pike with a lot of gold here, up 700 on the log, kind of just inherently from the champion that he's playing. Bot lane going to be pretty even. Mid going to be favored towards Valpo. Jungle going to be slightly favored towards Valpo. And top also going to be pretty solidly favored towards Valpo. And Valpo overall up about 2k gold. Did secure that soul point. Ashe ult just misses. But yeah, Valpo definitely looking pretty solid here in a good spot.
Oh, we do see the Scion ult is not being able to find anyone. Super Bear is having to commit the ultimate to get out, but we are going to see that the law is going to come in and look to turn that into being on that posture.
Big Bard ult.
As Ashe and Nocturne are found, Ziggs ult doing a lot of damage, but at this point, Syndra's starting to do a lot, but we see that Jakimbo's able to do a lot of damage to the Ashe and be able to find that pick. Syndra ult still available, and is a big danger, especially the Dreadful, because again, that execute at 15%, because I would believe that at this point, Syndra is at around at least her 100 stacks. Pike is not going to get found out. Oh, he is with the charm.
Oh, Super Bear does play a little Syndra there. Able to find the stun, secure the kill, and that is going to be a 4-for-1 for the side of Valpo. And bounties are available soon for Bethel, which means Valpo is pretty secured in the gold lead here. Are going to find this mid inhib. And we'll see if they decide to look for some Nexus turrets here. Ashe just came up. Sign will be up in 5. Are they able to find the pick? They are able to find Nocturne. That's going to be huge. Valpo,
going to
gotta be
barely
careful.
survive here. Cyan is here too, but they did get the Nexus. Nexus turrets are gone. The Nexus is open as they are trying to end Diadem and Super Bear. Everyone's trying to do a lot, but Valpo is able to correctly focus on the Nexus instead of trying to fight. And with that being said, Valpo fans, this is going to be a 2-0 in favor of Valpo for the second game against Bethel.
Yeah, so Valpo looking really good there. Dreadful charting that game with 24k damage. Jakimbo just behind. But Valpo able to find the 2-0. Not quite a clean 2-0. Hats off to Bethel. Played that game very well for sure. Definitely Valpo had some adversity there. But yeah, that's going to be our last regular season game for the Gleck for Valpo League of Legends. So they're going to finish the regular season 6-2, and I believe lock in the 4th seed for playoffs. We got the top 10 teams qualifying for playoffs in South Bend 2 weeks from Friday. So really excited to have this team there. Have had a great season in the NECC as well as the Gleck. But yeah, finishing 6-2. Bethel dropping to 3-5. So yeah. Thoughts on game 2?
Definitely a little messier, especially towards that top, but Valpo realizing exactly what they need to do is just be able to slow down the pace that Bethel was focusing and allow the game to kind of go at their own speed. And once they were able to kind of take control of the game, it was kind of game over for Bethel as
Yep.
Valpo was able to slowly but surely claw their way out and start shining again as they were able to find that pick. And in that final commitment, I wasn't personally expecting them to fully finish that fight, which is taking the rest of the towers. I thought they were going to back and reset a little bit, but Valpo knew what their limits were and pushed them to their limit as they finished up that game really strongly.
Yeah, I think game 1 was pretty darn good. Game 2 had some flaws in the early game, some kicks to work out, but overall, when it mattered, Valpo was able to be victorious. And at the end of the day, we won 2-0. So that's kind of all that matters. So definitely going to be locking in, practicing, getting ready for this playoff trip in South Bend, as well as they have one more regular season game in the NECC as well next Tuesday. But yeah, great regular season for Valpo League of Legends. It's crazy that was the last Gleck regular season game. Smash will play their final Gleck game on Saturday. As far as the rest of this week, we got tomorrow Rocket League time to be determined. Probably actually going to end up being a couple hours earlier. So won't have to be in here until 10 or 11 with those NECC late games. Friday, we have Varsity Overwatch as well as the Beacon Breakdown at 4 p.m. So make sure you tune in for that. And then we'll round off the week with Smash for their final regular season game on as Saturday at 9. And that will be a win and get in game. So super important game for Smash. Are they, as they are 4-4, need to get to that 5-4 to be secured for LAN. But yeah, that'll do it for us here tonight. It's been a pleasure casting with you, Mr. Monsieur. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time and have a good evening.